Take all of your wasted honor, every little past frustration. Take all of your so-called problems, better put them in quotations. Say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Walking like a one-man army, fighting with the shadows in your head, living out the same old moment, knowing you'd be better off instead if you could only say what you need to say, say what you need to say, say what you need to say. Oh, say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Have no fear for giving in, have no fear for giving over. You better know that in the end it's better to say too much than never to say what you need to say again. Even if your hands are shaking and your faith is broken, even as the eyes are closing, do it with a heart wide open. Yeah, yeah. Say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Say what you need to, say what you need to, say what you need to say, say what you need to say, say what you need to say, oh, say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. My name is Tanis, and let's put our hands together. I was also about to say Reverend Helen Valleau. Reverend Helen Valleau!
Thank you. Reverend-ish. Yes, ish. There's an ish there. Soon to be, come in June. Yes, thank you, and good morning to everyone. For those of you who don't know me, yes, my name is Helen Valleau. I am a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the center, and a ministerial student, intern, and stepping into Reverend Jonathan's boots this morning as he's laying in the sun, playing with the dolphins, doing all kinds of exciting things in Kauai. It really, really is delightful to see him having such a great time. So thank you for being here. If you're here for the first time, thank you to all of you online. And yes, Jonathan and Dane, I know you're watching. I do have a confession. I have a confession. I am so going to be in trouble for this. Last week, the song sheets were on a separate sheet than the announcement sheet. And then this week, well, you actually don't have a song sheet. I'm so sorry, Jonathan. I'm so sorry. I had an insight as to why this all happened during meditation. I won't go into it because it'll make me look like a real bubblehead and confirm Jonathan's belief in me that, yeah, sometimes I'm a little bit technically challenged. So we'll just get this party started with music and song, and I'll mouth the words. Carrie will cut off the sound because you do not want to hear me sing, but I can mouth them. And we will get started with, because before I stick my foot in my mouth anymore, let's all stand up and sing Opening Up in Sweet Surrender, which a lot of you know.
Yeah, and lyrically,
it's
for
so
anybody
easy.
that this song is new to you, it's very simple. It's, I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We just keep repeating that. Yeah. And then we're going to just, half is going to sing that while the other half just holds it down with, I am opening. But we'll work our way through it. You'll get it. It's so easy. We've got your back. Okay, here we go. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening, I am opening, I am opening, I am opening, I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening, I am opening, I am opening, I am opening. So here, you can sing with me all the lyrics, or if you prefer, sing with the boys just doing I am opening. And we'll just keep on doing that till we got the groove, and we'll take it on out. Here we go. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening, I am opening, I am opening, sweet surrender. I am opening. Let's do that again. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening, sweet surrender. I am luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender. I am luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. Nice.
So just take a moment to breathe in that energy. Oh, it's luminous, it's palpable, it's loving, it's gentle, it's supportive. It is who and what we are. And we come here on a Sunday as a community to celebrate life, to celebrate love, to nourish our minds, our bodies, our souls, and to hear incredible inspirational words. And so I would like to invite up to the lectern our practitioner of the day. She's head of the practitioner corps for this year. She is a brilliant woman. If you heard her speak last week, you would confirm that with me. And she has more words of wisdom for us. So Judy, Seven, come on up to the lectern. I'll bring it up for you.
Hi, everybody. Hello, Kauai. We're having fun here, too, just want you to know. But not as much fun as you are. I'm so happy that you're having a great time. Love your pictures. There is only one life. Every time I hear these words, see them, read them, It gives me a lot of comfort. It inspires me. And when I take these words into my consciousness more and more, it makes life easy, easier and easy. So here's what Ernest Holmes has to say very early in the Science of Mind text in one of the early chapters about the one life. There is a universal mind, spirit, intelligence, that is the origin of everything. There is one life back of everything that it lives. There is one spirit back of all expression. And as I embody these words, I know that everything that happens in the world affects us all because we are one. We are one with the one life. And I know that God, Spirit, the divine presence, I know that God individualizes itself in every single one of us. And that is our oneness. So this thing called God works out its life as our life, and expresses by means of us. We are conduits for all that God is. We are conduits for God's life, God's love, God's peace, God's light, God's joy, all the attributes of God. We are conduits. We live in a holographic universe. And as God is within us, the attributes of God within us, so the attributes of the whole ocean is in the drop of water. And we're distinguished by how we use our connection to the divine. And we get to choose. We have free will. We're not God's automatons. We're not robots. We get to choose. So we can choose either to remember who we are or to forget who we are. We can renew our mind or we can wreck our mind. So we can renew our mind and transform ourselves, or we can create disharmony, literally by engaging in negative thinking. So we can choose right thinking or erroneous thinking. And it's not always easy, but we can make it a habit. So last week, I talked about Emmett Fox having a 7-day mental diet, his prescription for suffering no more and for living in alignment. And the right thinking, as we are right thinking, everything shows up. Things show up that distract us. And it's easy to be distracted. But the more we think rightly, the stronger our mind gets. And our tendency of thought changes to think, say, and act in ways only that are positive and constructive and optimistic. Only right thinking. So erroneous thinking creates suffering, it results in suffering, and right thinking aligns us with the one life. And we get to choose. So this power of the universe, the power of God, the power of spirit, the power of the infinite is always with us, whether we know it or not. So let us know it, let us feel it, let us believe it, and let us live and act, and act as if it's true, knowing that it is the truth. It is the truth of who we are, and we will live in love and peace and harmony. So let us remember who we are. Let us remember everything we need is already within us right now. And let us have the courage to be all that we are. Let us have the courage to be all that we are, the one life. So I have an affirmation. I invite you to say it with me a couple of times after you hear it. I live knowing that God expresses itself by means of me. I live knowing that God expresses itself by means of me. I live knowing that God expresses itself by means of me. Peace. Peace. Thank you.
So we're going to do Blessing to the World. The lyrics to this are also very easy. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. You'll get it, it's easy. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice Spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. We'll do that with you. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of Spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world.
Yes, we are a blessing. Each of us is a blessing in this one life. And I know that there is only one life. And that life is God's life. And that life is my life. That life is our life, right here and right now. We are connected. We are connected at our source. We are connected to each other. We are one in this one life. And so knowing this truth, let us be comforted. Let us be inspired. And let us make life easy. And let us radiate this love and this light that is within each and every one of us. Let us radiate it outward to the world, creating a world that works for everyone. For that is who we are. That is why we are here. Let us know this truth. And in this truth, knowing the truth of who we are, I am grateful. I am grateful for this knowledge. I am grateful for this oneness. And so knowing this, I release it. I release it to the law, knowing it is fact in mind. It is already done. I let it go. And together we say, and so it is.
We are. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of Spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world, to the world, to the world.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you. You don't need the lyrics for this. This is a song by Pierre Gautreau. And I will punt. I can patter along here. He wrote it a couple of years ago. And one of the things that Jonathan is wanting to do with the music program is really introducing a lot of new material, things that we haven't heard from for quite a while. Because, you know, singing the same songs, I mean, kind of gets a little bit boring after a while. So we're going to keep switching it up here. And do you still need me to keep talking, Pierre? He's good, he's good. So please welcome our brilliant, brilliant band, Pierre Gautreau and the Queen Street Band.
I wake up in the morning, I open my eyes, and what the day brings is a surprise. No two are the same, it's the truth I say. A curious mind keeps me coming back. We'll always stay that way. 'Cause I just want to see what's coming around the bend, never wanting it to end. Life's a mystery. I surrender to the flow. Thoughts create my journey, some good, some topsy-turvy. On this epic adventure, I know I will grow. I will grow. I will grow. I will, I will, I will, I will, I will, I will. Every day through the window I say thanks to you, morning glory. The actions I do and the thoughts that come through add to my life story. Oh, my life story. I will, I will, I will, I will, I will, I will. Let's be grateful for what's in our life. The consequence, less strife. Remembering, oh, that we can choose love and laughter trumps singing the blues. I just want to see what's coming around the bend, never wanting it to end. Life's a mystery. I surrender to the flow. Thoughts create my journey, some good, some topsy-turvy. On this epic adventure, I know I will grow. 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 I will, I will, I will, I will, I will, I will grow.
Oh, life is an epic adventure, isn't it? It is an adventure. You know, if you'd told me 8 years ago that I would be completing ministerial school, would never have believed you. Never have believed you. Because we're always growing, we're always expanding, we're always changing. And always the choices that we make trump our awareness. Because once we can be aware that we are spirit, and I mean, how many of us are aware of that? Yeah, we're aware. We're spirit, there's an infinite presence and power in the universe. We get that. Are we making choices from that place? Or do we revert back to the old thinking and make our choices based on the old erroneous thinking, even though we know that we are one. We know there's only one life. We know that there's only spirit. We know there's only this divine, infinite, creative intelligence that is everywhere present. And yet, what are the choices we're making? Are we making the choices from that place? Or going back to the old ways of thinking? Because there are many, many, many roads and paths to the divine, to God. Many roads. Or, as Tanis and I were talking last week, and I said, yeah, there are many paths to God. And she goes, menopause to God? I'm like, well, that too, that too. But we cannot live in the presence of God. We must start to live as God, because we are God. And when we can remember that, we will make different choices. Ernest Holmes writes, when we realize that humans are like God and we could not be otherwise, we will realize that our word has power. If there is but one mind, then it follows that our word, our thought, is the activity of the one mind in our own consciousness. The power that holds the planets in place is the same power that flows through human beings. We must place the word where it belongs. Whether it is the word of God in the universe or the word of man in the individual, it is always first and before all else in the beginning. It is the real sequence in this. Our word, our consciousness is cause, spirit, intelligence, God. And then our word becomes the activity of intelligence. It goes into that immutable law. It is the activity of the intelligence in the law that then creates the effect and what we experience in our life. Whether it is a planet or a peanut, all are made out of the same thing. Energy, spirit, God, the divine creative intelligence of the universe. Healthy religion, as the very word religio, rebinding, indicates, it is the task of putting our divided realities back together. Back together. Human and divine, male and female, heaven and earth, mistake and glory. It is all one. All one. For most of us, we live in a dualism between the spiritual and the so-called non-spiritual. And we'll judge what is spiritual, and then, oh no, that is not spiritual. And I work out in Calgary at a retreat center. And I started going there in 2000. And there was a group of us with the company that I work with, and we went out to teach this 3-day workshop just to kind of check out the place, because we hadn't been there before. And it's a very Christian place, incredibly beautiful, like one of the most beautiful retreat centers I've ever been to. And we were kind of checking each other out. The couple that run the retreat center are Christian theologists. And so the first night we're sitting around and we're talking, and Christoph says, so, are you religious? And my boss said, well, I grew up in a very strict Christian home, and so I used to be very religious. And my other colleague said, well, I'm not really anything, I don't know. And I said, well, I'm a universalist. And I was kind of really smug about it and a little bit quip, and he kind of looked at me. And we really liked each other, but there was always a little bit of a separation because I kind of had this spiritual arrogance around Christianity, and that, well, you don't really get it. So over the years, we've come to really respect and love each other. But it was so interesting one week last year. we're sitting in the dining room, myself and my other colleagues, and he comes by and he's talking to us and he said, I'm studying all this psychology for my doctorate. And I said, oh my God, I'm studying psychology for my ministerial license. And we started talking. And he said, here, I think you might really like this guy's writings. So he sent me an email. And, no, it wasn't Ernest Holmes, actually. That's good. That would have been very funny. That would have been hilarious if he'd sent me Ernest Holmes. He used to actually be a Franciscan. Franciscans were the ones that flogged themselves, and then he realized he didn't want to hurt himself anymore and keep beating himself up. So he's in another program and getting his PhD in theology. But he sent me these writings from Richard Rohr, the Center for Action and Contemplation, which is a very Christian center. But I was so excited because here's someone who's writing about oneness and saying we have to stop having this dualistic nature in religion where there's a God or something with power outside of us, that we're it. So I'm so excited, and I'm emailing all of these writings to James Mellon, because James Mellon, who is my ministerial teacher, grew up Catholic. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And he's like, yeah, this is what Christianity should be. I want to read you what he says. The purpose of prayer and religious seeking is to see the truth about reality, to see what is. And at the bottom of what is always goodness. The foundation is always love. Enlightenment is to see and touch the big mystery, the big pattern, the real. Jesus called it the kingdom of God. Buddha called it enlightenment. Philosophers call it truth. Many of us see it as a foundational love. Foundational love. And that's when we can understand that this one life that is connected to everything and so beyond what we experience here, right here and right now, it's way bigger. It goes on and on and on and on and on into the infinite. And yet it is the foundation of love. And so this is a mantra that he recommended that you repeat throughout the day to remind yourself of this. God's life is living itself in me. I am aware of life living itself in me. God's life is living itself in me. I am aware of love living itself in me. I am the love. You are the love. We are the love. And this is the life we have to live. I don't know if any of you have seen the TED Talk on the Interfaith Amigos. No? There's actually in Science of Mind, they have a little blurb about them this month. And really their objective is 3 paths to one objective. To find the universal truths that unite us all. So I suggest you look up and watch these 3 amigos. It's a Muslim, an imam, a rabbi, and a Christian priest, and how they come together and really teach that we're all one. It doesn't matter if you're an individual over here and you have this that you want to express, and then somebody over here has this that they want to express, and I have what I want to express, and Jonathan has what he wants to express, and all of you have what you want to express that is uniquely and divinely yours to express. It's all one and all connected. And it's what unites us all, is this divine energy of love. And so, Troward talks about this a lot, that we are individualized expressions. Well, Ernest Holmes talks about this too. We're individual expressions of this one mind. And when we will have harmony is when we are in total acceptance of everyone's individual path. And so, it was interesting because in thinking of that, when I was driving down here, I was listening to CBC, and I always get the best stuff from CBC. I'm gonna transition listening to CBC radio because I just love it so much. I know it's kind of a weird thing, but I so appreciate the just what they bring to Canada. I won't digress down that path. Anyways, they were talking about the news and how ISIS and the Al-Qaeda actually have a perfect marketing system. They are brilliant at marketing their cause. And they're brilliant at marketing it because it gets so much attention on the news and it breeds more fear. And what would happen if we stopped focusing and getting so caught up in the fear and stepped into the understanding that we are all one? There's only one life. That life is God's life. It is our life right here, right now. And that is the equalizer for every single person. And we focused our attention on, instead of the fear, what do we need to focus our attention on? Love. It's a higher vibration. If we were all of focusing our attention at that higher vibration, this lower vibration could no longer exist. And so in the news, or what they were talking about on CBC, was the moralistic choices that journalists are making in what they're presenting in the news. And is that really just supporting a brilliant marketing plan? Wow. We can change all of that. Every single one of us. We can change that by stepping into love. By focusing on the love. And really raising our own vibrational level. Because it has to, by the universal law, move out something that is at a lower vibration. That's what we talk about in prayer all the time. Is go into prayer, treat our own minds to know the absolute truth, the spiritual truth, because the spiritual truth is a much higher vibration than any effect that we see in the world. This is what we can do in our own lives when all the stuff keeps showing up, right? And keep showing up and showing up. Anybody have that? Mm-hmm. Did you know that your soul loves you so much, that it will keep showing you what it is that you have to heal? That's how much you're loved. Isn't that comforting? So, it's we have to heal ourselves in order to embody the absolute truth of who we are. So when that stuff shows up, bless it. Thank you. Might take you a few days to get there. Takes me a few days to get there sometimes. But man, when it keeps showing up, it's like, oh, okay. I am loved and supported by a divine universe that really wants me to clear this out so that I can be free of it and step into something much greater. I have a client in Dubai, and we've been working together for about 6 months consistently. And he's like, I just want to get out of Dubai. I want to come back to Canada. I want my company to find me a place in Canada. So we've been working on stuff that's going on for him around work and you know, what some of his patterns are and what he can clear out. And he actually was born in Palestine, but was raised here in Canada, went to school here, and was bullied a lot as a kid for being different and the outsider. So we've worked a lot, you know, on those wounds and releasing all of that energy. And he said to me one day, he goes, you know, I really hate it when I get in the elevator and a Muslim says to me, Assalamu alaikum. And I'm like, what I wanted to say is, are you crazy? But I didn't, I was very calm. Because I said, well, you know that means peace be unto you. And I said, so you're wanting to leave where you are and come back to Canada, but you have an issue with your in-laws that live in Abu Dhabi. You have an issue with your wife's sister who lives in Abu Dhabi. You have an issue with your brother-in-law who lives in Dubai. You have an issue with your work. And you can't accept a greeting that says, peace be unto you. And peace is like one of the highest vibrations of emotions. And he says, oh, I guess I'm not getting back to Canada till I heal all of this. I said, no, you're not. I said, that's why you're there. Your stuff keeps showing up until you heal it. No matter where you are. So, you know, we want to be somewhere else, and we want to do this, and we want to do that. And it's like, wow, wait a minute, heal what's right here. And embrace all of who we are, which is not the stuff out there, not the relative, the absolute truth of that we are that divine, creative, beautiful being of love and light and truth and beauty and wisdom and grace. And then make choices that support that belief. And then everything out here changes. Everything. So I want to leave you in the words of Richard Rohr. This is what came in this morning. The only way I know how to teach anyone to love God and how I myself can love God is to love what God loves, which is everything and everyone, including you and including me. We love because God loved us first. We love because God loved us first. Oh. And doesn't that just make everything settle in? I'm going to invite you to say that with me. We love because God loved us first. We love because God loved us first. Breathe it in. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is our life now. Namaste. So it is time in our service to give back. And I actually found something in Science of Mind magazine around prosperity. And I wanted to read it out to you. The consciousness of prosperity is knowing our source and recognizing that it is in line and flowing abundantly at all times. We align ourselves and identify ourselves as the infinite supply in the universe. we can practice circulating the energy that money represents. We become deep, dynamic energy exchange processors. I love that. We become deep, dynamic energy exchange processors and understand that in this deep consciousness, that energy is constantly taking new forms. It cannot be destroyed. It is constantly circulating throughout the universe. And so I invite you to take what you have, to bless it with this deep, deep consciousness of love, of truth, and of gratitude for all that we have. You know, when we're in gratitude, it opens up a portal in our soul to receive more. So, thank you. And I thank you for all that you give and all that we receive. And so with that, we are going to sing, What Do I Have to Give? You have a lot to give. So let's stand up and rejoice that.
What do I have to give? What do I need to live?
What do I have to share?
What do I have to share?
What do I do?
What do I do
To show I care.
show I care? What do I have to give? What do I need to live? What do I have to share? What do I do to show I care? What do I have to give? What do I need to live? What do I have to share? What do I do to show I care?
So, Judy, I'm going to invite you to come on up for blessing over the offering.
What a blessing. What a blessing these gifts and these baskets are. I am grateful, deeply grateful. Grateful for the love, the consciousness, and the giving that allows this center to move forward and create wonderful lives everywhere, to create a life that works for everyone. I know that money is God in action, and I know and I see and I feel and I'm grateful for the giving and the receiving and the giving and the receiving of this circle of love. So in love and in gratitude, I release these words to the law, and together we say, and so it is.
What do I have to give? What do I need to live? What do I have to share? What do I do to show I care? What do I give? What do I give? What do I give?
Thank you. All right. I'm going to move into another song message. And I invite you just to relax, to breathe in, to allow yourself to be present to the words, the music, and the energy of this space and of each one of us that are these incredible divine light beings.
Now that I know the truth, I can't go back to what I used to do. I can't pretend or ignore or go back to what I believed before. I can't live without your love. I can't live without your light. I can't live without your message. I can't live without your warmth. I can't live without your wisdom. I can't live without your message.
In gratitude for knowing that we come together as a community who has this one loving presence to celebrate who and what we are, which is love, to celebrate, honor, and acknowledge the brilliance of our minds, our bodies, our souls, to feel nourished, supported, and comforted by the knowing that each one of us on our journey is evolving and growing and changing. And yes, that journey is epic. It is epic. And let us celebrate all the brilliant moves, the brilliant steps that each one of us have taken, with the understanding that we are all one, and there is only one divine creative intelligence, and we call God. This light, this spirit, this universe that is infinite and expanding beyond infinite to I don't even know what you call beyond infinite, but it is growing and expanding and evolving as part of this creative nature of God. And this is who and what we are. And so, let us celebrate this. Let us embody it and live from this place and turn away from anything that is not a vibrational match, so that we always stand on high watch in our own consciousness and take that right and perfect action that reflects the beauty, the love, and the brilliance that we are. And in gratitude for this incredible community, in gratitude for all the people that come together on a Sunday to make this community work, for Carol, our board member, for setup, for Lori for setup, for our greeters, Carol and Yelka. In our bookstore is Chris, on sound is Carrie, on the camera is Jim, Harold is with our youth, and Sophia is offered to clean up. And for our beautiful Queen Street Band and Pierre Grotteau, and for each and every one of you here. In gratitude, I say thank you, and I release my word to that immutable law that only knows to do. And I trust and know that all is in divine order, for order is heaven's first law. And I release and let go. And together, as one, we affirm and say, and so it is.
Now that I know I'm God, I can't hide behind this old facade. I can't lie to myself or know that I'm not perfect health. I can't live without your love. I can't live without your light. I can't live without your message. I can't live without your warmth. I can't live without your wisdom. I can't live without your message. I can't live without your message. Now that I know the truth, I can't go back to what I used to do.
Thank you. Oh.
Bel Air sauce.
Okay, just a couple of announcements before we kick it out the door here. Couple of things. One, our annual general meeting is in a couple of weeks. So please come and join us for our annual general meeting on Sunday after service. It is really valuable to have your input and for you to know what's going on in the center. We will be electing new board members, so if you're interested in serving on the board, please come and speak to me. You can speak to Jonathan next week as well. Jonathan will be starting Self-Mastery on Wednesday, January 27th. I'm still continuing with the Nature of Effective Prayer on Sundays after service from 1 to 3. It's great. If you want to even do a drop-in class, feel free to drop in. It's good to learn it's the teachings of Ernest Holm. It's the foundation of our foundation work. We also have midweek meditation happening at 6 p.m. with Margaret Ann. If you were here for her beautiful meditation this morning, thank you, Margaret Ann, for your meditation. She's brilliant, and it's a great midweek tune-up. It's free. You just come in, sit, get present, be, and receive. Also, if you're interested in volunteering, there is a sign-up sheet. We are looking for more greeters. We're looking for people to help with cleanup. Or you can speak to our beautiful volunteer coordinator, concierge, Lori, over there. And then this Thursday is my Year of Possibilities workshop on Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. You can sign up in the bookstore. Great way. We're going to really step it up in terms of you getting very, very clear of what are the qualities that you are committed to taking action on, really embracing and taking action on in your life, and building a vision around that. There's a burning bowl ceremony where you get to release any of those niggly patterns. Get rid of them. Go. Goodbye. Release, let it go. Don't need them. They're done. And set very, very clear intentions of how you're choosing to show up in 2016. So we're going to do all of that in 2 hours. Boom. 7 to 9 p.m. And that's it for now. So thank you, everyone, for just being so brilliant and bringing your consciousness here today. And we're going to kick it out with tenets.
And we've been talking about doing this song for months as a closer, like introducing it. And just for whatever reason, we just, didn't. Last Sunday, I was cooking. Strange when inspiration hits, but last Sunday night I was chopping dinner, and I went, oh my God, maybe next week we'll put this song in. And then David Bowie, hours later, went on to his next big adventure. So it's like, okay, we're doing the song. You'll know the lyrics. Stand on up, because we're dancing in the street. Calling for a brand new beat. Summer's here and the time is right for dancing in the street, dancing in Toronto, down in New Orleans, in New York City. All we need is music, sweet music. There'll be music everywhere. There'll be swinging, swaying, and records playing, dancing in the street. Oh, it doesn't matter what you wear, just as long as you are there. So come on, every guy, grab a girl. Everywhere around the world they'll be dancing. They're dancing in the street. This is an invitation across the nations, a chance for folks to meet. They'll be laughing, singing, and music swinging, dancing in the street. Amsterdam and Berlin, Hong Kong and BC now, can't forget the Motor City. All we need is music, sweet music. There'll be music everywhere. There'll be swinging, swaying, and records playing, dancing in the street. Oh, it doesn't matter what you wear, just as long as you are there. So come on, every guy, grab a girl. Everywhere around the world they'll be dancing. They're dancing in the street. Over in the UK, every day they're dancing in the street. Let's form a big strong line and get in time. Dancing in the street. Dancing in the street. Dancing in the street. Dancing in the street. Dancing in the street.